Welcome back to part 6, everyone. We have the same people from last part. We have FTA, Vapes Enlisted, MBM, and Action. We're doing another night stage this part, just as a spoiler. So, go ahead, click out of the window.
That is the one big issue I will say is that is not necessarily the night stages, but the pacing of the game is kind of off. Where it's like, oh yeah, you got a bunch of night stages all in a row, and then you get some day stages in a row, then back to night, and it probably would have felt better if they went sequential, if they went alternating, going from day and night.
It is weird.
He wasn't even holding on to her finger.
It is weird how this is like the only Sonic game that doesn't just go for like level Act 1, Act 2, new level Act 1, Act 2. I mean, I kind of, in terms of story progression, I kind of like how you do bounce around. But yeah, from a planning perspective, they really should have worked on it better.
If some night stages were shorter, it maybe wouldn't be so much of an issue when they back to back, but we're getting Holoska and Spagonia, which aren't shorter stages.
Yeah.
But that said, we are going to a day stage next, so it all works out.
I'm disappointed that Sonic Unleashed doesn't turn into a, photography-based survival horror game after that cutscene. Like they straight up had people possessed by monsters. Like, the fuck kind of shit is this?
I thought my video glitched up for a second.
Sus.
Oh, it did. That was normal.
I love... Oh, Christopher.
Oh, no.
Christopher, no. I love how...
She's 8 years old!
She's 12. She's 12, but the point still stands. The fact that in the previous cutscene, Jason Griffith's, aid character goes from speaking like this to "Let's dance the night away, babe." It's almost like the voice director told Jason he was a different character. Because that
Also,
doesn't match.
They use that same voice line twice in the same cutscene?
Which one?
The "Let's dance the night away" thing?
They do?
Wait, really?
It's that or the "Oh, I'm having so much fun" guy in the background. They use one of the lines twice.
It's probably that one, because let's dance in that way. I think it's only said once.
Unfortunately.
It doesn't even sound like Griffith.
I would disagree. I think it sounds like him a lot. It just sounds nothing like the first time we hear that character.
God, now we have to go around flashing people?
People get locked
This
up
game's
for
got
that.
everything.
This is where Sonic engages in blackmail.
Oh, shit. Nightcrawler.
I like that movie. It's fun. Fucking sound. You know what? To go back to what we talked about last part. The one thing I change is a different fucking sound effect for when you break pots. That's the only thing I change about this stupid game.
Replace
I put
it
the
all
one
with a
for Spider-Man.
soundboard.
A Hank Hill soundboard.
You just took a picture of that old woman.
Yeah, she's hot.
She's next
What about it?
exorcism.
There's no time to waste, Stefan. We gotta do this right now.
The power of Gaia
There, we
compels
did
you.
You have to fight 50
Light.
of them.
Yeah, 50 enemies.
Wait, so, it... No spoiler, but does the camera work because Chip is the one using it?
The uncanny camera.
No,
I love my 2001 internet website gifs.
Me too.
I love Hypnospace. Take me to Hypnospace, Chris.
I need to play that, actually.
oh yes.
You do! It's so good! And then you can make videos on the internet about how nice and pleasant it is that will make other people play it. And then I will thumbs up those videos. Circle of
Okay,
life.
if that's what it takes for you to thumbs up my
He
videos,
won't
that's
watch
what I'm
him.
doing.
He won't watch him at all, but he'll thumbs up him.
Oh, fuck.
That's what I care
Dude,
about.
have you seen his videos? No!
Fuck.
I don't even watch him.
He just edits them. Alright, it's good. Post. Just like everything else on this channel.
Why does Amy just stand out here and not do anything?
Because You know what? One serious question then. Name a game where Amy does something plot relevant.
Adventure 2.
Technically, she let Sonic out of jail.
And
Not
she's
do that
responsible for
himself.
getting Shadow to turn back.
No,
Well, he never turns back.
Chris Thorndyke did. Chris Thorndyke did. You can't take that away from Chris Thorndyke. I
You're
love
right, the
that
Sonic
scene.
X adaptation is pretty good.
I love that when Shadow starts beating the fuck out of him, and like Amy goes to stop it, and Chris's butler is going like, "No, let this happen. I hate that little shit. Let this happen."
It's the butler's king. Don't judge him.
He's been waiting for this all his life.
He comes in like that dude from the Godzilla movie. Let them fight.
Let them fight.
The weirdly ethnic butler.
Look, Sonic X was a weird time.
It is weird in those types of shows when like, because I assume like where Sonic lands is Japan maybe, or I'm not sure if it's actually meant to be America. But yeah,
It's San Francisco.
but like Mr. Tanaka is clearly like an Asian gentleman. So it's weird in anime when like you have people who are like clearly designed to be Asian and then everyone else is not. It's like what's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Oh, like Ace
here?
Attorney.
No, but the worst is anytime he shows up on screen, he has that, like, because the thing that bothers me so much about X over anything is anytime a character shows up on screen, they have, like, their weird kind of theme that always plays no matter what. So his is like that, was it like a Chinese, like, isn't it a gong or something?
Yeah, but was that just the 4Kids dub?
Yeah, the 4Kids dub.
Okay.
Yeah, and what is it, Ella has, like, maracas playing... Rouge has her saxophone, and it's just
Sexy
every time they
saxophone.
show up, it's those same like the jingles.
The only good thing I'll say is that I legitimately think that that Sonic's theme in the 4Kids dub, it's a decent theme. Obviously, it's always played with that terrible fake orchestral synth, but the actual melody of his theme, not too bad. But I think on just every level possible, the Japanese version has a better soundtrack.
Yeah, it's overused, but that da 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 is not the bad.
It's a good theme. I like it. It's a good theme.
Available on Blu-ray 3 years before this part comes out, so that's pretty cool.
Hey, I may break down and buy that. Depends.
I don't even like the show, and I think I might too. Someone talk me out of it.
Do not buy Blu-ray of Hedgehog anime, Chris.
Do you know if they fixed it? Did they like remove
Define fix it.
like remove like what is it that rating thing at the top?
No,
like,
you know what? That is the only. I guess because 4Kids went under, that is literally the only video source they have.
Damn. So it's literally just the rip. It's literally just the stream rips.
From what I understand, though, they went back. Because it was released on DVD a few years back. In fact, I actually bought the complete both sets for Jono from Sonic Says for Christmas and his birthday one year, but because I dislike him, so I bought him a bad show on DVD. But like
Jono.
from what I understand is because the guy who was in charge of it, he was on Twitter like a month. At this point, when the time you're listening to this on YouTube, he was on Twitter about 4 years ago, and he was talking about how like this is the because the show, it was in that awkward age of like early 2000s digital anime that wasn't made in HD, so like you can't really make it the HD render. So what they've done is they've just made it look as good as it can do on standard definition. But I wish more shows would do this. Whack like a standard definition show on a Blu-ray so you can fit more. Because like you could fit like whole seasons of like TV shows like say The Simpsons and shit on like especially the episodes that weren't made HD. You could whack that shit on one disc and sell it cheaper, which is why they don't.
That's true. It seems like the common approach is to basically say, hey, this is a Blu-ray, so we got to do high definition. We just got to upscale it, to take up a hell of a lot more space. When in fact you could just put more content in, at a slightly, lower resolution, but fit all the content you want on it.
And for the most part, they don't do that. That really bugs me is whenever you have like a Blu-ray thing or whatever, and they just have like barely little anything on it. Like that's like you could have fit all three of the original Pokemon trilogy on one Blu-ray, but instead they just released them on 3 individual Blu-rays.
Well, that's different. That's 3 separate products, so I can understand that. But like, it still gets me when they release Game of Thrones they sell them in like these big box sets with like 2 episodes per disc, and I'm like, no, you could fit more of these episodes in a disc. You
I think it's
HBO,
like-
you money grabbing bastards.
I believe it's like 4 discs with 3 I think it's like 4. I think it's like
No
4
season 1 and 2. They're 5 discs with 2 episodes per disc, which is fucking crazy down.
All this makes me really happy that the only media I consume is gaming YouTube and not television.
You know what?
Praise be.
One thing I actually want to talk about the game for a second, to quote Lewis from Brain Scratch, even though he actually goes on random tangents more than anyone else does.
Don't talk about the game, it's gross.
Okay, point. But you know,
This is the best level.
one plus.
This is the coolest part of the game.
One
It's
plus I
pretty
will say about the Wii version is, like is you know before we go to this level, Chris got a power up, the stomping power up.
good. Oh yeah, the Step on Me Sonic shoes.
Yeah, you know what? Wii version starts with that already. You don't need to. The Werehog is the only character who powers up in the Wii version. Sonic, like regular Sonic, is already maxed out from the start of the game, and part of it's. With Sonic, I kind of just prefer it if he's just maxed out from the beginning. You know, I think something like Secret Rings, when you have to unlock speed, is obviously should die forever and never return. But even in games like SA1 and SA2, I mean, at that point in time, it kind of worked to unlock power-ups. But I think I don't think they've done this since Unleashed.
Gareth.
But unlocking power-ups is something I don't enjoy in a Sonic game.
We get it, Gareth. It doesn't make sense that Mega Man loses all of his powers all the time.
It doesn't. That's fucking. He should have 1,000 power-ups by now that he can just call on at will.
Well, instead, you see the company that releases Mega Man just puts 2 power-ups on the disc so they can sell you more Mega Mans.
Fuck you, Konami.
I
And,
love that
since-
whale. Does that whale have a name?
It's called whale.jpg.
Yes.
And I don't think it's as bad in the with this because it's only 3 power-ups, and regular Sonic without the power-ups doesn't feel that underpowered or anything. So I think
Of course, Stefan defends the big corporate company. What
This
a
part's
shock.
bullshit, by the way. Fuck that.
Bullshit.
You know what?
What
What
big company am I defending?
You always do. Sega, you idiot. Who fucking made this
No,
game,
I'm
you
talking
dumbass.
about this game. I'm talking about this game.
God, the biggest Yakuza fanboy in the world defending Sega. Who would have thought?
I do like
shame.
I do like Gangster Shenmue.
Damn right you do, bitch. I'm of 2 minds about it because it's. I guess maybe I'm actually of 1 mind about it now that I'm saying it out loud. It's really annoying when you're replaying Unleashed and you're going through Windmill Isle or some other stage where you need the light speed dash for a shortcut, and you're
Yep.
like, oh, I can't do it. I want to use the air boost. Oh, I homing attacked in the air on nothing. Oh,
See, I feel
it does feel debilitating.
I
Yeah, don't-
feel
don't
like
it.
Colors did that a bit better about having the paths be unlocked by getting a later power. Because yeah, it's kind of annoying in this game.
Well, I mean, like with
it is the same thing in Colors.
With colors, well, no, because with colors, all of with colors, all of those things are just power ups. Like Sonic doesn't gain any like attacks or like anything to his base control. In
And it's
Colors.
like
it's just the wisps themselves.
Yeah, and because they're wisps, there's actually an in-universe justification for why Sonic couldn't do that stuff to begin with. Whereas things like a wall jump, you would think Sonic would be able to do that from the get-go.
Yes.
Well, the in-universe explanation is that Sonic didn't have spikes on his shoes to stomp until Chew Man.
But the Werehog does, so why can't the Werehog do that?
If Sonic takes off his shoes and then transforms, does the shoe still stay spiky? And then when he transforms with the spiky shoe on, it just turns into normal.
Stefan, you're using speedrunner logic. I like it.
And I really like this hub world. I think it's very
Chris?
homey.
Chris, why didn't you put in the CG cut extra video when they eat the dumpling? Because that's the location they do it in.
I just wanted to appreciate the slideshow frame rate. Sorry.
This LP is ruined.
You're in Kung Fu
Whoa.
You're in Kung Fu Panda world.
That's fucking racist, Stefan.
It still amuses me that they just straight up jacked that part from Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
They weren't even like trying to cover it up. They're like, nah, we like that movie.
Wait, what year did Kung Fu Panda come out?
Oh wait,
7?
no, it was like 6 months before this game came out.
Before Kung Fu Panda came out, this whole section wasn't even in the game.
Just looked it up.
They
It's
saw that
2008.
movie was.
Kung Fu Panda came out on June 6th, 2008.
I wonder if that was like released online or something because like it's so similar. It has to have been like
It was
homage,
it was in a trailer, so I feel like
Yuji Naka got an early copy of it, and even though he didn't work at Sega anymore, he was like,
Get a review copy.
It was like, you guys should put this in Sonic Unleashed.
No, he was like, I should put this in Ivy the Kiwi.
Except no one will play. I forget. Doesn't that game have? Doesn't that title have a question mark in it?
It does.
Yes, Ivy the Kiwi.
It's like they weren't even sure about the game themselves.
It's like, should we call this that? Oh, you shipped the cover art with that on it? Oh.
I
It's-
mean, considering Naka's next game after that, it kind of makes sense.
What was it?
Rodea.
Let's tap. Oh.
Rodan? He made a Rodan game? Good for him.
Where's Let's Tap fit on the time?
Oh yeah, let's tap. That was right. That was the next game he did.
That came out a month after Sonic Unleashed.
Was he
True competitor.
Was he behind that DS game Feel the Magic?
He might have been.
Ooh, that sounds like weeb shit. Field of Magic DS.
Oh, not
Project
Field
Rock.
of Magic, Feel the Magic.
Oh, Feel the Magic.
Yeah, it was that like weird
sounds like
dating
some
game
weeb
that
shit.
came out as like not quite a dating game, but like a dating themed set of mini games that came out towards the launch of the original DS.
Oh,
Weird
I
as
have
hell.
that. It has a different name in Europe. I think it's called Project Rob.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Project Rub. Oh my gosh.
That game, it's fucking weird. Like on the main menu, you can like use your DS to like the touch, like the boy and the girl. And I swear, if you touch, like tap the girl, she says like, "Stop that, you pervert." I'm like, this is kind of fucking.
It's
weird,
even weirder
man.
when you unlock Sonic.
You play some fucking weird games, dude.
That's, you know what, that game helped me explore my sexuality. Don't judge me. Fuck you.
Chris,
I mean,
you-
hey.
your teleporting editing is like I don't even know
Teleportation,
where I am
yeah.
anymore.
Oh, good. I thought I
Good.
was just having like a stroke or something.
I remember borrowing that game from Gareth like 2 years ago because I was like, I want to play every game Sonic Team's made, and I've never played Field the Magic XY/XX. And I beat the first stage, and I had enough.
Yep.
Like, immediately gave it back, and the next time it was over, I was like, let's just not even talk about this.
So All Stars Gaming Season 2, you got it.
This stage I always remember where when you're a maxed out Werehog, you can beat this level in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think 3.5 minutes is my record.
Then why don't
Because
you
like
max
this fight
out,
right
Chris?
here, you don't have to do it. Why aren't I maxed out?
Yeah.
I was too busy drinking Pepsi Max. Sponsor me, Pepsi.
Hey.
Look at me checking this cave. I know there's something in here.
And there was.
Damn right. I played this game.
And I know that this level also has one of those like
Look at
sections
those
where you go
physics.
if you go into a different room, then it like opens up a really long enemy gauntlet. That's like actually hard. That's like you actually have a chance of getting killed. Because normally most of the time it's just like, oh, you're not going to get killed by these enemies. But there's like 1 or 2 sections where it's like, oh no, you actually will die if you don't.
Oh, no.
try.
Isn't one of those in Arid Sands like you go up to a rooftop and all of a sudden you get
Yeah.
bombarded by this wave of enemies?
I think it's Arid Sands. There's a room in this level, and I think it's
The room?
the final room in Missouri Night are like the 3 big ones where it's like you could actually die in combat if you aren't careful.
I kill you, motherfucker.
I break every bone in your Eggman land.
You're not my fucking hedgehog.
Oh hi Gaia.
Oh, hi, Tarkaya. There I am going for it.
Oh there it is.
Fuck these rocks.
Bam! Look at the Havoc engine.
Oh my god.
It's
I often
glorious.
do.
Okay, so serious question about the game though. I read something yesterday on Twitter, so it is
Oh,
quite possibly.
we've already started off on a bad foot.
It is quite possibly complete and utter bullshit. But apparently, so you remember when Sonic Forces came out, and Sega were talking about how they have the new Hedgehog Engine 2, and then you play the game, and you're like, this looks worse than games that were released 10 years ago. Good job, Sega. Apparently, someone in a response to a TSSZ tweet, so already we're in even worse territory than we were 6 seconds ago. They said apparently Sega lost the trademark for Hedgehog Engine 1, which is why they had to make Hedgehog Engine 2. Chris, you seem to follow up this kind of Sega bullshit more than I do. Have you heard anything about that whatsoever?
Sorry, you were talking about Sega bullshit, and I kind of zoned out. What?
Apparently, Sega have lost the rights to Sonic the Hedgehog.
I was doing a bit. Yeah, I hope so. I hope Nintendo gets it. They
They
lost the trademark for Hedgehog Engine 1, so they had to call it Hedgehog Engine 2?
And I guess it's because like the guy who designed it left Sega. I'm not sure if he held the copyright for that, which would photo suit Sega being incredibly fucking stupid with the copyright for their own things.
He did go to work at Square Enix after Unleashed.
But I mean,
But
like,
also, I don't know why he would hold on to the name Hedgehog Engine.
well, no, I mean, I guess like the entire engine itself, like
Oh,
that's why they had to make a new one. But again, everything in Unleashed in Forces just doesn't look nearly as good as it does in.
I mean, if you want to believe Iizuka, Generations, Colors, and Lost World all use that Hedgehog engine to different degrees.
Colors,
Because he told Steven that about Lost World, right? At New York Sonic Boom.
yeah, it was something like it was from people. I think especially people in retro, especially Generations ran on a like much less concentrated version of the Hedgehog engine, and then I think some people said the same thing for Lost World. I had heard that Colors was running off a modified Sonic Adventure engine.
That's weird.
Wait,
Because
really?
like
Like
that-
gameplay
that
engine
again-
or graphics?
No.
I think maybe I'm not sure. I read that so many years ago, and I can't remember who said it or in what context. But you know, it's without. I literally don't. I don't think Sega have really been that forthcoming about exactly what the Hedgehog engine, like exactly how powerful it is and what it does. I don't even honestly know if the Hedgehog engine was optimized for like the Wii or anything like that.
Is the Hedgehog engine just the blast processing of Sega in the 2000s? I'm just saying, because like hearing you try to explain what the Hedgehog engine even is, it's like hearing people when there's like, what's blast processing? Well, it's like you haven't said what it is. It's always just been some circular thing there. Holy shit.
Okay, so let me just put this on blast right now. The person who tweeted that they don't have the Hedgehog engine anymore has 12 followers. His pinned tweet is hashtag facts over feelings, and his most recent retweet is Ben Shapiro's facts don't care about your feelings. So I'm gonna not believe this guy.
Well, yeah,
boy,
but
yeah.
but Chris, he retweeted your boy Ben Shapiro, who's is your best buddy. He retweeted and liked all your tweets. So
That's true.
no.
Ben Shapiro and I are going to debate on his podcast.
Oh no.
About the Hedgehog
about
engine.
Sonic Unleashed. But what's the better version?
no.
Come debate me, you coward.
Facts don't care about your lighting engines.
Oh.
But I mean, I would say the last 2 points kind of maybe work, but just because someone has a low amount of subscribers doesn't necessarily mean they don't know what they're talking about. Everyone starts at 12 at some point, Chris.
I started at 0. but-
I don't know. I think Chris learned his lesson about unreliable online sources with the whole Spyro remake thing.
It's true. That still hasn't come out yet.
Oh, what happened with the Spyro remake?
Yeah, it was never real.
Was that the guy who kept on saying information was coming like 4 times and it never did? Every time he said it would.
That sounds about right.
Fucking hate this
But
part of the game.
Oh god damn it, Chris.
That was pretty good. I'll let me amend my statement because I did make a pot shot. This guy has no followers comment, which is not good. His tweet has everyone saying, please give a citation. What are you talking about? Where have you heard this? Someone quoted saying Hedgehog Engine 2 was built directly on Hedgehog Engine 1, and he's not replied to any of it. So
Okay, so
I will consider that pending then, as opposed to totally debunked.
you know what? The fact that he has, because that tweet was made a few days ago, and if he hasn't responded to any of them, he's probably just talking shit. So LP stenographer, strike the last 2 minutes from the conversation.
Sounds like fake
Case
No,
news.
dude.
closed. Except when I close it.
Oh.
God, can you believe I'm still in this stage? This is a 3-minute stage.
I thought this was 3-minute stage. Why are we still here?
Well, yeah, you take the detour to get the one medal, and now
I
he's
had to
gonna
upgrade my
die.
stats all the time.
And now he's got to die. He's gonna die, so he's got to get some life back.
Yeah.
Why
I
aren't you?
gotta run
Why
into
aren't you
water
upgrading
again.
your life?
I don't need it.
It's too
Like
small.
that Stefan's throwing shade over people dying in an LP.
Elliot, seriously?
but Unleashed is a good game.
I totally
Let me see if I can do this electric thing right this time.
How dare you insult Croc, Legend of the Gobos?
I totally forgot that
There
you
we
can
go.
level up your skills like in the level.
Oh, you're gonna do? Don't do it again. Oh,
No, I need the moon medal stuff, and you don't understand.
you don't
Look at this
need moon
waterfall.
medals. You just need
I
sun
need-
medals.
So
Look at it. I need it.
So based on that, I think I can't remember if I said it before, but in terms of the Wii version, one of my favorite,
Fuck you, Stefan. I made it.
one of my favorite Werehog levels is I think it's Werehog Act 2 for Chunan when the whole level is you kind of ascending up a waterfall, which I think
That was a good
is
level.
a fun level.
That's one of two Unleashed levels that I will say is better than their HD version.
I like that one, and the I want to say the second to last Eggman Land Werehog, where it's entirely 2D, which I think those are actually pretty ingenious ideas for the Werehog. It's good.
Yeah,
I
I
think
wish.
it's-
Go ahead.
No, so
Look at
the
that
thing
pro
about
strat.
the thing about Unleashed is that like I think the Werehog sections, and I might actually prefer a lot of the Werehog sections in that, but it's just it's like which. It's like pick your poison. Do you want one really long level or a bunch of smaller levels that might add up to longer than just the one long level in HD version?
Yeah, I'd rather take the one long level just because for the most part the said long level the one long level doesn't end up being as long as it feels. Meanwhile, the multiple kind of medium-sized levels end up feeling much longer than they end up being like totaled altogether.
Yeah, it's like I do feel the kind of Werehog slump is more prevalent in the Wii version. I remember specifically getting extremely frustrated and bored of having to do so many Werehog levels in a row.
Yeah, I was about to ask, do you attribute that to the number of Werehog levels, or is it because of the gameplay differences in the Werehog itself?
It's I don't know. It might be a mixture of the two. It's I think the amount of levels doesn't do it any favors. In terms of differences, it might be a control thing, because when you play it on the GameCube controller, because I would never even try to play Unleashed with the Wiimote because I'm not an idiot. It's a thing where it's like the punch is on the L and R buttons. Good job, Chris.
Fuck this game.
Yeah, if you want to play Unleashed
Nice,
Werehog
Chris.
properly,
Nice.
if you want to play it properly, you need to use the classic controller.
But I don't want to use a classic controller. I want to just use the GameCube controller.
So you can
I
press
wanna
the L and R
offer
to
a,
punch. Also, I really hate the tapping forward to run, because there are so many times where I just want to like slowly walk through platforms. So I'm like tapping the control stick, and then it'll immediately turn into a sprinting, and then I'll fall to my death.
I want to offer a counter perspective for the divvied up stages in Unleashed, though. As someone in high school and liked to play, let's say, before school started in the morning, like play video games, it was nice to be able to be, okay, I've beat this level, as opposed to, I'm 20 minutes into this Werehog level, I don't know where it's going to end, I have to redo this after school today.
Also,
Fuck you, Mom.
Also known as the reason why 80% of games on the PSP are mission-based.
Exactly.
Which you know,
like, sometimes
I
it's
get
nice
you.
to be like, oh, okay, I'm at Act 3 of 5, I'm still not done, but at least I can pick up from Act 4 as a kid, the primary demographic for a game.
Yeah, as someone who hasn't played Unleashed in a very, very long time, how long are the Werehog stages compared to the ones in the HD version?
Chris, you fucking suck.
Not as long as Werehog's arms.
They're
Oh
not-
no, you're all the way back here.
Oh.
The-
They're not as like individually they're not as long, but I think as you said, if you add them all up, and also because like they get longer as it goes on. Because like you start and it's like there'll be like 2 werehog levels, then 3, and for Eggman Land there's 5.
I believe
Which-
it's the first couple worlds are three werehog levels. Then the second half of the game is 4, and then Eggman Land is 5. And the levels they range from about 5 to 7 minutes on like normal.
Yeah.
That's really cool that you could skip this entire fight just by throwing the electric dude earlier. Like, holy shit, I didn't know about that. And is this the only level that does stuff like that, or?
Yeah, it's the most prevalent use case I can remember.
You have Unleashed. Use it.
No.
Of course he has Unleashed, but talking the game now. You figure we're doing the last 6 parts, Stefan. What's going on?
Ba-da-ba-ba-da.
I'm XP grinding right now. I hope you guys enjoy. I gotta keep making him spawn little dudes.
Do you end up using the Windows trick?
The Windows trick.
The Wentos trick.
Oh, you're dead. Oh, you're dead. Oh.
Apparently I,
Are we
need to
sure-
edit some stuff out.
Are we sure Stefan didn't edit this, LP?
I'm actually good at this is one of like 4 games I'm actually good at.
Prove
Yeah,
it.
you said that in the past, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
No, I said,
Yes, keep shitting on
I've
Stefan
always
and don't
always
talk about
said
me.
Unleashed and the Spyro games are the only games I'm good at.
I
Oh,
bet Stefan doesn't skip Dry Canyon and Spyro 1 is all I'm gonna say.
although you know what, as much as we sometimes trust Stefan never edits out cutscenes. Christopher,
It's true.
which cutscene in this game are you gonna miss out?
The Sonic Team logo, we covered this in part 1.
Oh, you bastard!
You said we wouldn't tread old ground.
We did, but then I did this boss fight 3
You want
times
to talk
and I
about
lost.
treading old ground? I just watched Pet Cemetery last night. Hey oh,
Okay.
That is a movie
I
that
understood that
exists.
Yeah, but poor.
How was
Qua.
it?
it's alright.
It's good.
Cool.
It has a cat. Multiple.
Yeah, that's all I
It does
know.
indeed have a cat. It stars John Lithgow. Do you remember when John Lithgow just did comedies, and now he always just plays like very depressing people in like adult movies?
Yeah,
He's
it's
always
kinda,
the dad.
That's always like a weird thing with like comedic actors when like they start doing like serious roles. It's like, ooh, that hurts.
Like when Jim Carrey starts being Eggman in a Sonic movie. That was a little weird.
You know.
You ever export a video in Premiere, then wonder if you exported a video after you like without saving what you thought you saved? You know what I mean?
No.
You ever look back and you're like, I thought I edited a lot of this out.
Oh.
What if I leveled up my combat right now? Like, I need the Feral Werehammer to get through this door.
It's probably a good thing Stephen didn't join us for this session. he would just be sighing exponentially for the whole of this part.
Exponential
Well, look.
size.
I've got a skill list right here.
You have to use the Shuri Hugkin.
That's the best one. When I unlock that, I use nothing else just because of its name.
The Were clap. You have a power called the Man Clap.
Wait, the man clap? Really?
Yeah,
That was the Were Clap,
Were Clap.
sir.
Yeah, it's the wear clap.
Anyway,
God,
I'm
he's
get
gonna-
this
he's
out of here.
Like, if you would have died again, I would have driven to West
No,
Virginia
but now
and punched
he has to
you.
get back.
Oh God.
I just want someone to come hang out with me.
The LPs are just cries for help.
Duh.
You know
Why do you
what?
think I'm doing them again?
You know what's funny? Chris has actually said that on more than one occasion, so I think that might actually be true.
Every joke has a hint of truth to it.
That
The
was
level
that,
just ends. Oh, okay.
that was some nice clean work there, Chris, on ending the part. Good job. I'm proud of you.